There we go.
There we go. Hey, this is Wicked Spursy. Mike, Steve, and the ghost of Dave. No, Dave's not dead.
Dave Pending.
It's Dave pending. It's like the loading bar on my computer because my computer sucks. Um, so for right now, Dave's in loading mode.
Dave's
And
like early 2000s dial up. He's still, screaming into the void trying to get connected. That sounds like Dave.
Dave's dial up, right?
Dial up Dave. There we go.
Dial up Dave. There we go. That's a way to start.
Yeah, he's going to love that, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, of course he will. I mean, nothing like a new moniker, you know.
Exactly. Exactly. So, Mike, how are you doing?
Oh, wait a minute here. I thought I was the host. Dave said I was the host, right? I'm
I
pretty
don't
sure I
know.
was.
I wasn't there for that.
It's weird because we're both like de facto hosts of our other
Other.
respected podcasts, so that are not, Wicked Spursy. But I'll let you host this time. I think I did it last time that Dave abandoned us.
He's just going to take over at some point. Once his AOL connects, he'll be good to go.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm doing okay, Steve. It was a good weekend. Lucas had his first outdoor training. He's got a tournament coming up outdoors in Massachusetts next weekend. Thank God it's next weekend where it's going to be 45 and rainy instead of 22 degrees and windy where the girls played this past weekend. But we got outdoors on the UVM soccer field to do our first outdoor training because our soccer field is still covered in snow. um all the parents fucking abandoned me, so I was up there in the bleachers by myself, 30-mile-per-hour winds, snowbanks as high as the bleachers, because they had snow blowed the field off for lacrosse games and whatever other fucking nonsense is going on in that field right now. But got to watch the boy out there, and this is kind of the year for them where they install the system, uh, which is very basic. So it's just basic. They're learning patterns of play and that kind of stuff. So they're working in triangles, and learning how to play out from the back, which is kind of interesting, because some of the kids who were in certain positions over the past couple of years are not in those positions anymore. Like we have kids who are attacking players are now central midfielders. Um,
And
and
before you
Lucas.
know it, they'll be playing center back for Spurs,
Yeah, exactly right. I mean,
just like Eric Dyer, right?
I've got a feeling that my son is going to end up being like a fucking wing back like Regulon, uh,
Well, hopefully not. Maybe somebody.
like Pedro Porro. Let's
Yeah,
let's
there we
hope.
go. That's a better
Let's
example.
Yeah,
Future
be
MLS superstar Pedro Porro.
exactly. So it was fucking freezing. I mean, it was cold, dude. And afterwards, myself and a couple of the parents took some of the boys out for a nice lunch at Al's French Fries, which has gone a little downhill, but it's still kind of the same old Al's. But the boys had a great time hanging out and playing together. And afterwards, Lucas said that the ball was hard as a rock. I was like, and he said because of the field turf and how cold it was just like skating across the turf.
I
Um,
believe that.
yeah, the balls were just flying around, and they're like beautiful touches though on these young kids. I mean, they really have learned how to corral the ball and how to keep the ball at their feet. So, but that was a fun part of the weekend. My daughter had her second birthday party within a week.
Oh,
Another sleepover. 14 years old, and again, for the second time in a row, has pulled an all-nighter, which sucks because like I was sleeping on the couch because I couldn't trust her from the weekend before. She did not learn her lesson, but I threatened her that she was going to have to come and stand outside with me at Lucas's practice, but last minute I was like, you're not coming. Other than that,
that's
man,
borderline cruel and unusual punishment.
yeah. Other than that, my brackets are busted to shit. My Duke Blue Devils are out, so the only thing I've looked forward to is maybe.
What is there? What even is there? We've got international break.
Oh, we do have international break. Boston Red Sox are going to be starting soon, so they'll disappoint me by the end of April. So there we go. How are you doing, Steve?
Oh, I am just waiting patiently for the one thing that I'm sure every single one of us is also looking forward to: warmer weather. I am, yeah, I know. I know that's exactly where you thought I was going with that. No, we're not ready for a segue quite yet. I'm just like, with that brutal cold yesterday, the winds in particular, it just clicked. Like, it's miserable. Like when you're in winter in Vermont and you don't have any like fun holidays to look forward to, it just sucks. Like it really does. I'm not like a winter sports kind of guy. I don't look for skiing or snowboarding or anything. Hey, maybe that's where Dave is, probably on the slopes or something.
Yeah, claiming he's with his boss. He's claiming he's with the boss.
Yeah, right.
We know how that works.
Yeah, so after like Christmas, New Year's, like there's really nothing for me to get excited about. So I'm just looking forward to that warmer weather coming in, some nice 40s, getting in, hopefully, to some springtime temperatures. We did hit the equinox, which means days are going to start getting longer, which should be nice as well. Get that seasonal depression out the door. Welcome back in regular depression, and no, it'll be good. There's plenty to look forward to this spring and summer. Personally, I'm just looking forward to that warm weather opening up.
The sap is flowing. Oh, look at this. The
sap is flowing. We went to a sugar house.
Oh, Christ almighty.
It really is early 2000s dial-up Dave.
Dial-up Dave. That's your new nickname. I don't think you heard that.
Right? Like that whole type of thing.
Yeah. I made that exact noise.
I believe it. Absolutely.
Dave, how are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm sorry about my tardiness this evening. I don't mean to interrupt what you were talking about, Steve.
I mean, I was just talking about the weather, and I'm sure everybody's sick and tired of hearing about the weather. They want us to get to the good stuff, but we can't get to the good stuff until we hear how Dave's doing.
Yeah, Dave is doing all right. Sorry, just got off a work-related call that took a little longer than expected. You guys both know how that is. Well, Steve knows how that is. Mike, when his shift ends, he's like, "Screw you guys! I punched out. I'm out of here."
My contract says I'm done.
That's right. I have worked my 83 hours this week. Go to hell.
It was actually 82 last week.
Yeah. 82. I was so close. Just like predicting the ratings on the beer, right?
Yeah.
But no, otherwise all good. We had the youngest son home for spring break last week, and he got back up your direction safely. So good to go on that. You boys will be proud of me. I am drinking beer tonight only because I'm out of wine. So I
got my wine, Dave.
Nice, very nice.
The box was empty, Dave.
The box was depleted. There's an allegory there, I think, for Spurs, perhaps, but yeah. But all in all, doing well, boys. Good to see you. Missed you guys.
Wait till you see the beer I have for Hey Mike tonight. You want to talk about an allegory?
I am excited.
Yeah, I gotta say, this is just it's always nice to find like a new local source of alcohol that is good. Because like I feel like people who come to visit Vermont or spend any time here, part of the fun is going and finding all the different breweries. We've got like 56 plus across the state at this point. Like it's absolutely obscene, but coming across a nice winery. I mean, I don't really associate Vermont and wine too much, but they were at I really wish I was trying to figure out what the name of this was. Mike, maybe they were out in the island, South Europe.
It's Snow Farm Vineyard.
Snow Farm, that's it. That's the one. They were at the home show that was up here over the weekend, and of course, if you're at a home show, why not drink, right? What other point is there? It's free. Give it a shot. They had this
Steve,
red
pardon
wine.
my ignorance really quickly. When you say home show, what are you describing?
It is this like big event with a bunch of different vendors setting up tables inside at the local sports complex.
That's
I
where Lucas
guess.
actually plays soccer. Like,
Hmm.
so yeah, like parents and stuff had, and some of the players had to go there and pull up the turf so that they can do these big shows in these giant facilities.
Yeah, but so they had, the car dealerships, realtors, all sorts of things that are supposed to be for like, your home and surrounding environment.
Huh,
Well,
okay.
they also have liquor.
Landscapers and that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
gotcha. Vendors,
Yeah.
vendors that you might need to use, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
flooring
but-
experts and shit.
So we're checking out the wine, and I see this red. It's obviously a different shaped bottle than the classic tall, long, skinny ones that you see all over the place. I was like, all right, that looks different. I'll try that. And my wife, she's asking, what's the deal with it? And he's telling us, oh well, this is an oak barrel aged red. It's 20% alcohol. It does not taste like 20% alcohol. Like this is fucking good.
That's the great thing about wine, man. Have a few and you're like, holy crap, what happened?
Yeah. So as soon as I tasted that, and as soon as I knew I was going to buy that, I was like, I'm opening this one up for this week's Wicked Conspiracy. I think this is the show to have a nice solid drink and talk about the absolute shit show that has unraveled over the last few days.
Mike, this might be the episode title, might be the one where Steve gets wasted. I think I could see something coming along there.
That's so funny. I wanted, we did the episode we called the one with Wendy.
Yes. Yep.
In
all caps, our only
Yeah.
all caps episode.
I wanted to continue like the Friends type theme, because that's how they titled all their episodes.
Yeah.
We could go back to that. I don't know. But I mean, I want to get something out of the way here, just off the top.
Let's do it.
Let's rip this Band-Aid off. That was not a fucking penalty. Come on.
Oh, we're actually going to talk about the game.
No, we're not. No, we're just talking about.
Do we
that
have
penalty.
to? I
No,
agree.
We're just going to talk about the penalty.
He missed
because-
him. Like there was no contact as far as I could see.
Because Dirk
Maybe
Commissar
late at the upper
said
arm.
that we're not allowed to talk about it anymore.
You know,
You look like an angry like Austrian from 1929, Mike. That's why now that you're letting the beard go, you
Like
look
I'm telemarking across the countryside.
you look like an angry Austrian.
the thing about that is it shouldn't have mattered, right? Like, was it a penalty in my mind, my very biased mind? No, of course not. Never. But it also shouldn't have mattered. We should not have put ourselves in that position where all of a sudden we're up 3-1. There's minutes left in the game, 3-2, and now you gave away this potential for a late penalty. Like, we all know the refs in the Premier League are utter trash. I mean, they're just garbage. I'm actually kind of curious to see how long of a ban Silva and Mitrovic get for the ugliness between Fulham and Man United. I don't know if you
Mitrovic
saw
is looking
that.
at a long ban, right?
Yeah, for assaulting the ref because he grabbed him and pulled him back a little bit.
Yeah, Tuchel
You
gets
don't- you
nothing
don't
for
do
like
that. You
grabbing
don't-
Conte by the throat or whatever it was.
I mean, you don't put your hands on the ref. I get the frustration. And it is a little bit off topic, but I'll bring it back. I get the frustration, but it's consistent, right? We all know the refs are shit. They're not going to call the game 100% accurate. You're lucky if you get 80-85% accuracy throughout the course of a game. You can be upset about it. You can throw a fit. You can make excuses. But at the end of the day, if you haven't put the game to bed yourself well before that point, then you only have yourselves to blame. And that's kind of how I feel about the Southampton game in general. Just, we got ourselves into that mess. We caused it. We don't have anybody to blame but ourselves.
No, I mean, in the end, we lucked into a 3-1 lead, really. I mean, Pedro Porro's strike was about 1,000 miles per hour, and he was just lucky.
That was good.
He was about as lucky as he could be to be that close to the net, because otherwise it was going up and over. He could have very easily just put the ball on his left foot real quick and popped it into the other side of that goal, but he wanted to.
But
shoot
it is
it
cool
up.
when it pounds off the iron like that. Like that is kind of cool.
He wanted to shoot that at 1,000 miles an hour. It was a nice ball by Sonny, but other than that, the rest of the game sucked. No, seriously though. I mean, the rest of the game sucked. Harry Kane had a nice header, and Perisic finally fucking scored. He didn't defend well. Him and Longley are bad together. Longley is middling, if at best, and Perisic makes everybody around him worse. Which
I'm telling you, Big Daddy Davies is the savior there.
what you got there, Dave? Is this me?
That's World War One soldier Mike.
God, I wish our audio
So
listeners could have appreciated that.
You know what's funny is that it did. I don't even know if the picture came up on our Zoom, but that there.
I hope it did.
YouTube.
I really hope it did. Yeah.
That was kind of funny.
Kind of
What's
funny.
even funnier is that Dave had that picture like nearly ready to go. He had that in his head from some fucking history class that he taught like 15 years ago.
Absolutely. Oh, no question. Well, more like 20, 25. But yeah, I mean, it was in my head.
You know, it's even funnier. He might be related to me because my family is from originally from Czechoslovakia, which was part of the Austro-Hungarian, empire at the time. So
that damn Archduke, man, him getting murdered, that's kicked it all off.
Things happen,
Sure did.
Just don't get murdered.
And the rest is history, as they say, Dave. Huh?
Literally.
See what I did there?
I do. I totally see what you did.
So do we want to get into this press conference? What do we want to do?
I think we've danced around.
I think we've got nothing. We've got nothing
else.
We got nothing else. We got to get into it.
Where to start though?
Where to start? We can start right at the beginning.
Okay, he came in and he apologized for being late. That was the beginning.
That's the beginning. Yep. and then he told us that we're not.
So he's a good guy.
We're not allowed to talk about the penalty shot or the penalty that wasn't a penalty. For me, it was not a penalty. He said
that's true.
And that's it. He said that's it. We're done. Close it off. But then he goes right into the rant about how it's been like this at Tottenham for 100 years or whatever it is, 20 years with this ownership group. Why haven't they won? He blames the players. He says that he feels bad for the fans, which a couple of weeks ago, I think he was getting on the fans because of their criticisms of him.
No patience,
right? So like he's taken the fans out, he's taken the players out, he's taken the ownership out, and now he's got his little shill Fabrizio Romano out there tweeting up a storm right now and getting everybody all worked up about him leaving.
Maybe we should be more clickbaity. Maybe that's how we're going to increase our viewers.
Well, here's the thing. For me, Antonio Conte, we and I think we have been saying this since the very beginning, he's going to flip out at some point. We've been saying it. We knew what we were getting when we hired him, but we thought we were going to be getting a little bit more. We thought he was going to be better at managing players. We thought he was going to root out all the bad seeds and put the best possible players on the field. We knew that his system was inflexible, but I didn't know that his system. I thought that we would be like subbing wingbacks all through the season. Nobody told me that we would be subbing wingbacks for pure defenders who couldn't get into the team when we had a 4-man back. I'm talking about you, Davinson Sanchez. You might as well have brought Joe Rodon back, but like he's subbing on possible attacking players or defenders for possible attacking players in the 89th minute of games. So, his 2 subs that he makes have never been impact subs, unless it was Decky, who I think him and Poro put in probably the 2 best performances of the day. And he comes out,
and the goalie, I think, put in a pretty good performance.
Forster had a fucking phenomenal performance, especially since he was let down by
multiple times. Yeah,
by that side of the field.
And he even almost doesn't count, right? But he predicted well the penalty kick and where that was going. He just
like I said, he's like a steamship trying to turn around in a commuter bus trying to turn around in an alleyway.
It's like that bit from Austin Powers where he's trying to turn the
he's got the forklift he's stuck, right?
Yeah,
that's right.
Or no, yeah, whatever it was like a golf cart or something. But either way, like I just think that as a manager, I quite understand, what he was saying, and maybe some of it is true, but you can only holler fire in the theater so many times before we start to not believe you. He's done this at every single stop. And for me, it was just a matter of when, because the results haven't been coming, and I'm sure he's frustrated. But it was a matter of when he was going to call out the management and the players.
It's just that he did it so spectacularly. That was really
it was super spectacular.
Yeah.
And maybe there is a problem in the locker room, but maybe as the guy who is called the manager, you need to manage your team. And you need to set expectations, and you need to be flexible enough to make it exciting for the players. And you need to help the players understand what happens when you get into a bit of a funk if you're not playing well, right? Or if the system isn't suiting you, you have to change the system to make it fun and exciting and actually make it work on the field. And he's just so inflexible that it's not working for him, and it's not working for the players. So I can see the players getting pissed off. I'm not saying that the players aren't partially to blame, because they are responsible for the product on the field. But when your system is figured out, and then the players start to understand that they've been figured out, and they don't know how to fix it, the manager's got to fix it. And he just doesn't do it. He doesn't make proper subs. He doesn't pick the teams properly. And he doesn't, inspire his team to aspire to greater things. He just doesn't do it. We dug out Jose for not doing the same type of thing, but calling out players, right? Mm-hmm. Specific certain players, and then banishing them to the bench forever.
True. He painted with a very targeted brush as opposed to Conte using an extremely broad brush, right?
Right. And it's not one of those things for me, like we always hear like, oh, the Tottenham way of playing. There is no Tottenham way of playing anymore. There isn't one. We've had no manager since 2019, since Pochettino got sacked, has lasted more than a year.
You said that with flair. Pochettino. Hey, Steve, can I put Steve on the spot for a minute? I don't know if he's ready to answer this question, but Steve, so the picture Mike's painting of what Conte did, is there anything about Conte's actions that is defensible? Like, do you see justification in any of it?
I mean, honestly,
Steve, before you get going here, I told you he was going to take over. Or you told me. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, what do you want the host to do? Am I supposed to let you guys just freaking wander or what?
Well, sometimes you got to let the kids play in the pool by themselves.
God,
yeah.
Dave's not that kind of guy. He's constant adult supervision.
And then they pee and there are Snickers floating in the pool. So, like this is a bad idea.
Well, to answer your question, Dave, I mean, honestly, he's not wrong. I don't think the comments that he made, I mean, the forum, the way that he went about it, probably not the best way to get that information out there. but the content, what he said, he's absolutely, in my mind, not wrong at all. I mean, a good chunk of these players have been a consistent theme across 3 or 4 managers now, where you've gotten shit results, underperformance, mediocrity. So there is in my mind, there's a constant there. Those players are still in this team. They're still contributing in some way, and we're getting the same results regardless of who's in charge. So yes, I do agree with him that there is blame to be placed on some of these players, but, and Mike, I think, hit the nail on the head. He's the manager. It is his job and responsibility to do something about it. And the fact of the matter is, given the opportunity, Conte will not change. He will put the exact same 11 players out on the field time and time again, and we'll get the exact same performances, the exact same results. Sometimes it works in our favor. Other times it goes against us. But there's no flexibility there. You can't say the players are used to mediocrity and aren't performing well, and then pick those same players time after time after time after time. If they're not playing as a team, if they are not up to expectations, drop them. I don't care who they are. I love Harry Kane, easily best striker we've ever had. The numbers don't lie. If it was him who was being the selfish individual who is dragging the team down, fucking bench him. You have to be able to say there is no individual above the team.
Do you think he was talking to Kane on Saturday when he talked about selfish,
no, honestly,
in that Kane didn't pass on 2 clear scenarios where he should have?
Kane should have passed. He was a little bit selfish, but by and large, I don't think Kane's the problem. I don't think of him as a selfish player. I see him as being somebody who does look for other opportunities most of the time, but he is also, an incredible goal scorer. When things aren't going well, he's going to try to take some initiative and do something with it. So, I get that, but I don't think Kane is the problem. I'm just saying that if it was him, nobody should be above the team. If there is some member or members of the team that are causing a toxic environment in the dressing room, that are bringing down morale, drop them. It's one of the things that I loved most about when Pochettino came into the club, was identifying the problem players and just banishing them completely, nowhere near first team.
I thought that's where we were getting when Ndombele was sent away.
Yeah, I thought so too. And yet,
yep.
Those were the guys who are most vocal and mouthy in the locker room, mouthy in social media and being lazy on the field and in practice and that kind of stuff. Those are the guys. But for me, I can't see it being somebody like Romero. For me, if there's a guy in the locker room that could be causing a toxic environment, and we saw it in the documentary, and I hate to say it out loud, but
he's not going to say it out loud.
Go further with that. What do you mean, Mike? I'm trying to remember. What did you see in the documentary? I'm trying to recall what that would have been.
When the sending off.
That's right.
Where he flipped out.
Yeah, had a hissy fit and a half, right?
Hit a hissy fit and a half. And then he carried on in the locker room after the game. And then he kind of helped. It just seemed like he has a terrible attitude when he's not playing well, when things aren't going his way, and he has a crybaby hissy fit. And maybe it's just me being a parent, but he's been helicoptered. We saw in the Sonny documentary, he's been helicoptered his entire life. Everything has been chosen for him, specifically for him, and he doesn't have to make decisions in his life. Now, that's not saying that he's the issue, but if there's one guy that I could see being an issue, and I don't think that there is one guy, I honestly think that Conte doesn't talk to the team. We know that he doesn't go in and talk to the team after some of these bad losses to let them stew on it and get pissed off a little bit.
Right.
That's for me, not a way to manage players and manage a group of men. He was absolutely right that the club pays a lot of money to these people. They need to go out there and perform, but you need to provide the assistance, and you need to provide you need to provide the example for them.
Yep.
And it's all fun. It's all fun when you're winning and doing well. And we may have never seen this had we won 3-2 or 3-1. 3-1, we might be talking a different game right now. We may not be talking about Conte out.
Can I share a
You just don't do
hypothesis?
that.
Can I
just
share a
don't do it.
hypothesis I've been developing, and then I think there's a really important question we need to ask. Is that okay with you guys?
Yeah.
Please, Dave.
I have been wondering if Conte came in November of, what was that, 2021? Yeah, November 2021. And I wonder if what happened at the end of that season where we rallied and took fourth was not supposed to happen. Right? Like if his strategy was, I'm going to keep playing these same guys and I'm going to show the ownership that they need to do what I say, they need to get the players I want, that we don't have the right guys. And unfortunately for him, like we dunked out of all the other competitions we were in. So those guys focused on the league and ended up finishing fourth, and it just worked out. And so then he was stuck and had to figure out how to claim credit for that, right? Like, I worked a miracle. I made this happen. I did all this stuff. And then went into this year, kind of expecting the same thing, to show ownership that if you're going to back me, it means you're going to do what I say. So let me show you how these players are terrible and not good enough, right? And start to bring me guys that I want, but I'm going to play who I want to play, even though you bring me guys that I want. And there's a part of me that wonders if, like, this outcome was coming no matter what, it just was a matter of timing. Because what happened this year is, no matter how bad Spurs suck, they keep hanging around fourth. You know what I mean? Like they keep lingering in the Champions League spots. He lost two friends this year, like, no downplaying that, but he also had this time at home with this illness. I think he came back from the illness and was just like, the first chance I have to go off and end this, I'm going to go off and end this. So had we won at Southampton over the weekend, it would have been delayed until the next unexpected loss that we should have been able to avoid. Maybe it would be after the break, right? I just feel like this was maybe always coming, but last year was a fluke and it screwed up his entire plan. Maybe? Thoughts?
Yeah,
Probably.
I mean,
Possibly.
I just do think that he probably just got sick and tired of being in the position that he was in. I get it, but it's always been kind of his MO, right? Like, he just kind of inevitably burns the house to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, at the start of the season, I was excited. We had preseason. It looked like everybody was clicking. It looked like everything was going well together. It does almost come across like he's doing almost like the absolute bare minimum to keep us competitive without outright making us competitive. Right?
That's gotta be really difficult to do when you think about it, like, how do you thread that needle to be just barely good enough?
I'm at the point personally where I don't care who the personnel is. I don't care what the tactics are. If because this is another argument that comes up from these few stragglers of people who still back Conte. It's, well, who else is he going to play? Right? Who else is there? Is there another option? And at this point, I don't give a fuck. Like, if you need to bring in guys from the academy to fill in some spots, get these kids who are like super excited to play for Spurs and to get their starts and to show what they can do.
For sure.
I would rather we have lost at Southampton 3-0 playing youth team players who actually gave a shit and tried. And I know people are going to say, oh, no, you don't mean that. Like, you're happy with the points. You're happy that we got, something out of it. Yeah, the points are nice and everything, but it sucks watching this team grind results out. It sucks knowing what we are capable of and not seeing that being reflected on the field. It is just brutal. I've already said I've chalked the season off to a loss. I'm looking forward to the next one where hopefully we've got somebody who is going to play a little bit more progressive, a little bit more attacking, a little bit sexy in a way. But man, I'm so burnt out of this season that I honestly, I mean this. I honestly don't care if we lose out every single game as long as we play people who actually want to be out on that field playing the game.
Steve, you know what'll make you feel better?
What will make me feel better, Dave?
If I asked a really special question to a really special fella.
Oh, Dave, please ask the question. I think that would make me feel better too.
Hey, Mike. What you drinking?
Well,
I
Dave,
love it when you ask that, Dave.
I'm going to tell you that today I am a
Optimist. Ooh,
I'm an
is
optimist.
that a sticker? Are you broadcasting a sticker for us?
I am a optimist. It's a noun.
Okay.
It's
Good.
a person. It's a person who believes everything is better with a good beer.
Sure.
Okay.
All right.
I think we could all be labeled as optimists.
Optimists. That said, I'm going to use my my nice old school Rheingold beer opener.
Which tells me there's a bottle on the way, right?
I collect these things. There is a bottle.
Unless
on
it's
the
like one of
website.
those high C cans that I used to drink fake orange juice out of when I was a kid.
That would be
0%
this
real
end.
juice.
Exactly. 0% juice, 100% orange color.
Hey, there's some high fructose corn syrup in there.
That's right.
This is made in Ridgeway, England.
Really?
Yeah,
Ooh,
I went out
British beer.
looking for some fun beers and I found these. This is called it's Ridgeway Brewery. It's a brown ale with bite. It's called and this is because I love my ITK. This is what I'm now naming. I have a name for my ITK informant. The person who gives me all of my ITK information. And in this case,
Mike
today's
has an informant.
today's ITK information was that Antonio Conte has been fired and it will be announced within the next 24 to 48 hours. I'm going to call him the hamster of doom.
Okay.
So from now on, when I have Mike DK, we're going to say the hamster of doom has spoken.
Hamster of Doom has reported. All right.
All right. So the hamster of doom, Ridgeway Brewery, 5.8 alcohol, brown ale with bite. Steve, I will expect you to go on to the old Google
Beer
machine.
advocate.
Mike, with this review, I want your assessment of why this beer has that name, just because yeah, there's a lot of thoughts going through my mind.
Oh boy.
There could be a reason for it.
Yeah.
This is scary looking. It smells kind
Scary
of boozy. I'm using my cup. It says I drink and I know things.
It's a good cup. Ooh, I hear the glug. Glug, 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 glug.
It's brown.
Let's see it. Hold that up for us.
More red than brown, really.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't look really like a brown ale. It looks more like an amber almost.
Yeah, there's nothing
Interesting.
good on these reviews.
It smells like a red ale. It's sweet smelling.
Not what I was expecting based on the name and the can. Or the bottle. I was expecting dark like our fortunes at Spurs, basically.
Yeah.
Actually, I take that back. There is one comment as Mike takes this sip that I will read. Somebody wrote in the review, "It's very enjoyable and a goo."
And a goo.
A goo.
I do want to note there's a half a finger of soapy head. I think I'm seeing. Is that about right, Mike?
Yeah.
Like a half. Oh, he's not enthused, Steve. We're in for a doozy here this evening.
Okay. Straight off the top, tastes like a copper ale.
Okay.
Looks
Like copper ale? Like copper ale is really good.
Yeah, but copper ale is good when it's brewed to be a copper ale, not a brown ale.
Fair.
I don't hate the beer. It is enjoyable. It's something that you and I could make in the basement, or in the garage, and as it were.
or the garage, as they would say.
The garage, as
Across
they
the
would
pond.
say, across the pond. You love that.
I do.
Like-
It's me
But, I mean-
sucking up to our English listeners.
As a copper ale, this would be a very good beer. It's got it's malty. It's a little bit lighter. It's fizzy. I like it as a copper ale. As a brown ale, it's not a brown ale.
I'm glad we got that straight.
I loved the dramatic pause too as he took another sip.
I mean, I'll drink this thing. It tastes a little bit like this. It tastes a little bit like this cap.
I was going to say, I didn't want to put words in your mouth, but for
Like a
whatever
penny.
reason, I get this impression every time you take a sip of it, like you're just sucking on like a sock full of
Yeah,
pennies.
he's less enthused every sip he takes, basically.
Yeah.
I
just
wanted
took
to be good
loose
because I
change and
paid
put
like
it in Mike's mouth.
I paid like $7.99 for it. I thought
Ooh.
like this is like English ale. It's from across the pond. Really, the other option, had Conte actually been sacked before we came on. The other option was the Iron Maiden beer,
Nice.
Day of the Dead.
Dead.
That would, had he been sacked, I would have switched to this one.
That would have been a good one.
Yeah,
I have a feeling you're going to drink that after this one.
true. I might save it for next week. This
Assuming Conte gets sacked next week. That's Mike's.
This brewery makes good beer.
Hey, the hamster of doom said 24 to 48 hours.
The Hamster of Doom did say 24 to 48
Hamster
hours.
of doom has spoken.
What are you talking about? 20? Oh, sorry. Behind.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
What about a rating, Mike?
3.1.
Oh, so close.
Wowzers. Still above 3. I'm surprised at that. Steve?
No,
claim
I mean
your-
it's
claim your score.
drinkable. It's fine.
Yeah.
What did Steve come up with?
3.
3.0 and I was
3.0.
2.9. We're dialing in, man. We're getting
You guys are dialed
getting
in.
close. How about the old song? What's the frequency, Kenneth?
No. Oh, that would have been a good one.
Just came to mind.
Yeah. Genesis, Watcher of the Skies.
Okay, how come? Why?
So
That
that song,
Dave. That's why.
that song's about aliens. That song's about aliens.
Too many questions, Dave.
No, that song's about aliens. It's about an alien who didn't know that there was other intelligent life forms, right, in the universe, and they came to Earth and fell in love with the Earthlings and wanted to try and save as many Earthlings as possible from the destruction that was going to happen from the sun exploding. That's what the whole song's about. I mean, it says it in the lyrics.
Encyclopedia Mike, man, you kill me every time with the songs. But tell me how that connects to the Hamster of Doom.
It's just the feeling that I get that the sun is the hamster of doom, and this beer is the Earthlings, and we need someone to come and we need someone to come and save us from that. We don't know who it's going to be yet. At least we know it's not going to be Gennaro Gattuso. So
We do know this.
yeah.
See, Mike, I take it further. To me, the Hamster of Doom is the Hamster of Doom because he's on the hamster wheel of doom, because he's just running endlessly nowhere, and that will be his destruction. You like that?
Yeah, I do like that a lot. In fact, let's write a song.
I think we could. I think
Yeah.
we could make something happen.
That-
The lyrics
that-
are up to you, though. I just have the big picture ideas. You're all
No.
about the lyrics.
I mean, it could be, that could be along the same type of lines, like a prog rock song, right? That
It
would
totally
fit right
sounds
into
like
that'd be prog rock, like
no question.
kind of like somewhere between heavy metal and like psychedelic music comes prog rock, like Pink
Yeah.
Floyd and Yes and
Like
like Curved Air and
King
those type of
Crimson.
bands. Yeah, King Crimson, yeah, those type of bands, and like Rush,
Yep.
yeah.
All right. Well, hey, that's been Ridgeway Brewery, Hamster of Doom. fair score at a 3.1. And Genesis on the song. Well done. Appreciate it, Mike.
It'd be probably a 3.6 if it were fucking actual.
If they labeled it a copper ale.
If they labeled it a copper ale. God, man,
Those bastards.
I'm still
You're
Optimist.
still an optimist. Congratulations.
yeah.
We're
Maybe
proud
I'm
of you
just
for that.
maybe I'm just let down because I had this delicious sip of sunshine before. Oh, no, that's a little sip. Sip of sunshine before I started here. So
Yeah, that's
I've been
definitely a
drinking-
downgrade. No question.
I've been drinking a lot of stouts lately though too. So
Definitely a downgrade. I was Mike and Steve. I was skiing with my son Nate on
I
Friday.
knew it. I fucking knew it. That's
Yep.
why you were late.
No, it was on Friday, and just stopped in. This was at Bromley Mountain. Stopped in at the the pub at the mountain afterwards, and they had like cheesy St. Patrick's Day paraphernalia all over the place. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to be the guy that gets a Guinness. But you know what I did get was a fiddlehead that I haven't had in a while. Both of them were delicious. Like they were absolutely perfectly timed, perfect scenario. Really, really enjoyable.
I got Guinness extra stout draft, and I got Guinness draft, and I got Guinness extra stout in the bottle.
And which was preferred?
I like the way that Guinness does their nitro beers in the can.
Mhm.
It makes it feel like you're actually drinking it at the pub. It's creamier,
True.
a better mouthfeel, and it like. But there's something about drinking out of that bottle. I love drinking out of a bottle. It's nice.
Mike, do you have your own personalized like foam stamp to do on the top of the beer with?
No, but you know what? When I worked at Killington, and I know we're getting off topic here, but why the fuck not? When I used to work at Killington, every year we would go to an Irish pub that was actually across the street from where Pico is.
Mhm.
If you've ever been there,
I know exactly where you're talking about. Yep.
Right
at the top of the mountain, right?
Right. Well, yeah, kind of. It's across the street.
Yeah.
No,
I mean at the top of the road, basically, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. So in at Long Trail, and it was right there, and we would go in, and every year they had it was the night before, they had the Guinness guys would come in, and they would teach all the bartenders how to pour beers and how to do the shit in the foam. There weren't actually stamps. Like they would actually do this shit with like the spoons. So they pour, and then they would do this shit with the spoons, and they would make designs and shit in there. There are stamps I think that they probably have now for that kind of thing, but
yeah,
these Guinness guys, these reps were artists.
That's cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, boys. So here's what I know. I know that there is no chance that we have done or can do this nonsense with Conte justice. So with that, it seems like it's probably the right time to hit closing thoughts and let everybody take it wherever the heck they want to go. But let's just be candid. We're not going to finish this story until it finishes itself, is kind of my opinion, which my claims will occur in 24 to 48 hours. Yes.
The Hamster of Doom actually said that.
The Hamster of Doom stated that. So yeah, we believe the Hamster of Doom. Steve, what are your closing thoughts as we wrap things up?
I was just looking at the next permanent Tottenham manager odds via Sky Bet.
Yeah, where are we at now?
What does the Hamster of Doom have to say?
So the list that they have right at the top, Maurizio Pochettino, followed by Luis Enrique, Ryan Mason, who actually shares odds with Enrique, Marco Silva, who's probably going to be banned for a lengthy amount of time. Vincent Company is up there.
I wouldn't mind that. That's okay with me.
Yeah, Thomas Tuchel, Roberto De Zerbi, and Thomas Frank round out the list. And I gotta say, these options to me are either unrealistic in that it would cost an arm and a leg to get somebody from, Brighton. Like we're not getting De Zerbi from Brighton without paying out the ass for him. We're not getting Frank for the same reason, right? Like Marco Silva, probably a similar situation, but he also kind of bombed at other places. Like he just doesn't seem like a good fit. And the rest of these are, I don't know, they're just sort of uninspired. Vincent Company excluded, that could be interesting, but like Pochettino, we've talked about that already. Enrique, okay, maybe, but like that just seems like another one of those like high expectations hires. Like this is somebody that's going to come in and they're going to immediately need to get results. And from what Conte has said about the players and how they perform under pressure and what we've seen under Conte and Mourinho, I just don't know that I really want somebody highly rated to come in and take the reins, because the pressure is going to be against them, not just from the fans, but from, the management, the board, Daniel Levy, all of that. It almost doesn't seem fair. And I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. I would rather just take a punt on somebody who is like highly rated, but up and coming. They haven't quite reached the pinnacle yet. They haven't quite accomplished the same feats as a Conte.
Like a certain Argentinian manager who's not named Pochettino.
Yeah. Like Gallardo would be an interesting one, mostly because if things don't start off on the front foot immediately, I think there's more leeway for him. Like I believe that there would be far more patience for somebody like him to come in and not have those expectations on his shoulders, to try to do something, to be given time to make something happen. If you get somebody like Enrique in there, or Thomas Tuchel, they're going to want results. They're going to want them fast. Fans, board, whoever. And the second things don't go well, we're back to square one. So for me, I would rather take the punt, give somebody some time. And I'm not talking a couple months. I'm talking, 2 or 3 years to really work their magic. Let them do what they're going to do. And unless we are at desperate circumstances where we're thinking like bottom half of the table, like we cannot perform, get rid of them then. But outside of that, like as long as we're top 8, I'm fine with letting them cook. Give them some runway, let them do something, and see if we can get a solid result out of that. Because I'm sick and tired of this carousel of just manager in, manager out over and over again. Mike already said we haven't had stability since the 18-19 season with Pochettino. It's got to stop. At some point, it's got to stop. And I don't see it stopping unless we make a deliberate choice to go with a project manager and back them for a period of time. That's it. That's where I'm leaving it.
This will be our 6th manager. And
wait. I'm calling you. I'm going to call you out.
Go ahead, because I was counting managers on my hands. Go ahead. Go for it.
Yeah. No, you did because you gave me shit about counting on my hands last week.
Yeah, I do. I totally deserve that. Absolutely.
Okay.
This will be our 6th manager in like 4 years. That is a remarkable statistic.
It is a remarkable statistic. And I for one don't like it. I agree with Steve 100%. We need to go with somebody young, somebody who's unproven, somebody who we will give time to. I know the fans, I feel that after the failed run at the league, and then the failed Champions League, final, I think fans are expecting something to happen now. And fans aren't willing to have patience and Antonio Conte was absolutely right when he said that the fans are not willing to have patience for a rebuild. But I absolutely agree with Steve, and we're going to have to sit here and wait for it.
You see, the thing is, I think fans would have patience for a rebuild
if it was fun to watch.
If it was fun to watch, and if the person at the helm wasn't, somebody renowned for immediate results, trophies now.
That's valid. The disconnect just it would be too much to overcome, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So basically what I'm saying is that, Dad left, right? We always hope like dad's coming back from the store someday to, he went out for cigarettes and milk, right? And he just never came back.
And all of Mom's stepdad tries have been assholes. Isn't that fair to say?
But here's the thing. No, you know what I feel like? It's not even mom and it's not even stepdad. It's like it's like some dude came into the house who was dating mom and then kidnapped us. Right. And then he got sick of us because we were fucking complete assholes. He had no reason to murder us, right? He didn't want to murder us. He just wanted his own kids. So he kidnapped us.
But he didn't like us.
He's like, oh, okay, this isn't what I thought it was.
He's like, you guys aren't very good kids. I don't like you.
No, we're okay kids, but he thinks that we're not good kids. So he's like, oh shit, we'll get rid of you. And then guess what happens? He's got a buddy who's like, I'll take these kids off your hands. Right? So he comes in and he's like, he's the nice guy. And he's like, yeah, we're going to make everybody happy again. This is great. And that guy was like, well, shit, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what's going on. Then some guy just busts in the house one night and comes in and he's like, I'm Italian. I know how to do this. I'm going to get this done.
And he took away all the ketchup and the mayonnaise too.
And right? he took away the ketchup and the mayonnaise and all the fun things that you like to put on your chicken nuggets and your French fries.
Should have been the sign.
Yeah, right. He came in and kidnapped from the nice guy who didn't know what he was doing. And then he's like, wait, these kids are assholes. I'm going to pass them off to dad again. Maybe dad will come back. I'm going to pass them off to mom, Daniel Levy. And maybe dad will come back and see what happens. But it's probably going to be the fun uncle for a little bit of time until dad comes back. Ryan Mason. So this is what, in my estimation, and after consulting with the Hamster of Doom, I think that what's going to happen is that Ryan Mason's going to come in. He's going to see out the season, and then Pochettino probably comes in. My only fear is that if Pochettino is not hired immediately, if there's not like they're trying to figure out contract shit before they start announcing shit, how they're going to pay off the 15 million left with Conte, and how they're going to bring in Pochettino. If they don't bring in Pochettino right now, I don't think that he's going to show up in the summertime, even though Pochettino will want a preseason. There'd be no reason to not bring him in now, other than the fact that maybe the players aren't going to fit into his system. But I think the players we have could fit into his system. And I honestly think that even if he wanted to come in and play that diamond that he was playing at the end of his tenure, like that would work well with players like Skip and maybe not Hobby, but I think Decky would fit into that system. I think Sonny obviously fits in that system. Kane fits in that system. But I think if Pochettino comes back, there's no Harry Kane next year.
Why do you think that? Because the Hamster Doom told you?
No. I think that Harry Kane has been there and done that, and I think he wants something new and promising, and every single time he kind of gets that something new and promising, he comes out of his little cocoon where he wants to leave, and comes out of the funk, and everything's great until it's not. And I think that Pochettino presents something that he's already done, and it didn't work for him. It worked for him for a while, but it didn't work. It doesn't work for him now. I just don't think that Pochettino's the right move. It'd be nice to have dad come back, but it'd be nice to have a new stepdad instead of getting kidnapped again.
All right. We got analogies all over the place on this episode, boys. Well done. I'm going to go on the record and say I wouldn't mind. It's blasphemy, but I wouldn't mind Harry Kane moving on. Just going to say it. With that, this has been Wicked Spursy. Steve, what would be the final words you'd say as we wrap things up?
Well, I was going to say, don't be an asshole, Dave, but you kind of just went right for it, huh?
I know. It was a good setup, huh?
What an asshole.
So this is pointed directly at you, Dave. Don't be an asshole.
I'll try. And Mike, how about you?
I'm going to say be safe, everyone.
And
Kois. We'll always be Kois because we love our club.
We're just disappointed.
Yeah. It's what did I say to you, Steve? I love this club, but I don't like this team right now. And then that holds.
That holds.
All right. That's it. Hey, fans, we love you. We'll see you later.